So I'm going again. We are talking for another study. طبعا دكتور يحيى تكلم عن الكلينيكال باك اللي هم الفيكتيمز اللي هم كانوا يجون للعيادة. I'm talking about more الكيسز اللي هي وصلت للادعاء العام وإيش الفرق اللي بينهم. طيب فهنا I don't have any conflict of interest to declare at this point. So if I want to start, World Health Organizations, as you know, define sexual assault as any sexual act or attempt to obtain a sexual act, unwanted sexual comments, or any act to traffic women sexually using correction, threats, or harm, or physical force by any person regarding where is the relationship or the place, including طبعا home or work. منظمة حقوق الطفل they stipulates that authorities should take all the appropriate legislative, administrative, social and educational measures to protect the child from all forms of physical or mental violence, injury, neglect, maltreatments, including طبعا sexual abuse. And since Oman is one such country in Arab country, Gulf that has recently ratified اللي هو CRC treaty, and this was followed with the establishment of the medical legal clause for sexual abuse. طبعا مثل ما تكلم الدكتورة منى عن موضوع قانون الطفل ومن ثم التبعات اللي صارت ما بعد ذلك. طبعا هنا في عمان احنا we have 11 governorates. مسقط is the capital city. we have primary and secondary care health services in Oman are well developed and they are connected with the tertiary facilities اللي هي في الكابيتال مسقط. طبعا بعد أيضا ما نزل قانون الطفل أيضا أقيم في كل منطقة من مناطق عمان موضوع اللي هي السوشيال كوميتي اللي هو Child Protection Team and they are connected again with the legal systems, health systems and the social development. For example, if we have any case, for example, a parent who have a child abuse case, they can approach اللي هو primary health service. And from there, the doctor can either guide them to the secondary or tertiary according طبعا to the case, or he has the obligation to call the child protection team, or they can call the child protection team hotline themselves, and from there they will move according طبعا to the severity of the case, or they can go to the police, and the police themselves they will guide them and raise it to the child protection team and the public prosecution. And from here, I think you can see that we have interrelated systems between the legally, اللي هو health services, social development to help all child being abused. طيب, if I go to this study, it is يعني study was a تعاون ما بين Ministry of Health and Public Prosecution, and it was published in Helion. كان في review في 2022 على ال study and it was formally published in 2024. طبعا as I said, it is a collaboration between Ministry of Health, Public Prosecution. This is a retrospective study. What we did, it was about all the cases of sexual abuse that been reported to the public prosecutions in Oman over 1 year period from January to December 2017. We got 269 cases that constituted the subject of this study, طبعا along with their relevant information. Why we did such a study? It was to address two interrelated objectives. The first objective to describe the characteristics of the victims and perpetrators, and also to examine factors associated with positive medical legal findings and judicial outcomes of child sexual abuse in Oman. Who are the victims? The inclusion criteria: all victims who are less than 18 years old, وطبعا they have recorded and registered في Public Prosecution Office over in 1 year period in year 2017. What we did study the socio-demographic characteristics of the victims and the perpetrators, like their gender, age, place of occurrence, is it in urban or rural area, the relationship with the offenders, is it intrafamilial or extrafamilial, the type of abuse itself, is it sodomization, vaginal coitus, and if it is not applied, like it is not fitting any of these two, we labeled it as inappropriate sexual behavior. And also, we study the information that had a direct bearing on medical legal findings and the judicial outcomes. It was approved from Ministry of Health, and a official permission was obtained من الجنرال public prosecution. طبعا statistic we use descriptive statistics like frequency, percentage, mean, and standard deviations to explore profiles of victims and perpetrators, and the statistically significant variations in forensic examination results and the legal outcome. We use the chi-square. P-value less than 0.05 was considered statistically significant. Okay, so what we did find. If we start with the victims, and again, I'm trying to compare between our findings. This is like a legal system, and the findings that Dr. Yahya got from the clinical point of view, اللي هو كانت في العيادة. So we found that the victims, more than half of them were males. طبعا if we compare to the data that Dr. Yahya already present, 64% of them were females. And I don't think that because, you know, this is the correct number or that was the correct number. We are all Arab countries, so we know all the stigma around the females. So they're trying to reach the clinical system, but they're trying to avoid the legal system. And we found that more half of them were in the age of 13 to 17 years. The mean age was 12 years. And we know that most of the boys try to go out of the house and try to be in contact with strangers, mostly in that age group, اللي هو adolescent age group. If we compare this to the perpetrators, طبعا 100% of them were males. And, you know, as Islamic country, Arab country, we are the more normal and more acceptable is the heterosexual, not the homosexual. But that doesn't mean that there was no homosexual cases. But that this is only the cases that have been registered in the public prosecution. And well, again, most 3/4 of them were in the age of 20 to 40 years, and the mean age was 28. It happened more in the urban than rural. Oman, the distribution of population in Oman is almost equal between the urban and rural. But in the urban area, as all Arab countries, it is more open and there is more contact than the rural. And also, you know, in the rural area, the families' relations are more connected. So they are not going more to, you know, to go and complain about any cases that happened inside the family or among the groups around them. And surprisingly, like if we compare to the studies, we got that 96% of them were extra-familial. And as I said, I think because, you know, we have the extended family system in Oman, and the families are too much connected to each other, so they are not going to complain about any such cases and the stigma around it. So about this, we don't such believe on it. Like, we know that this only the cases that reach to the legal system. And to be honest, this was one of the limitations of this study. Regarding the type of abuse, around 60%, 62% were the inappropriate sexual behaviors, and followed by the sodomization, 26%. Okay, so if I talk about the legal system, what we found? We found that around 144 of the cases have been sent to the forensic examinations because they found they have positive. So they have been sent to the forensic results, and out of them, 70 cases have positive, you know, findings. And that's why it was sent to the public prosecutions. And most of these cases, 176 cases have been sent to the court. And from these 176, around 134 have been convicted. And the median legal system, they have been convicted for a median of 30 months, around 2 to 5 years. Okay, so Dr. Amira is going to continue on my talk about the medico-legal findings and what could explain what we found in this study. Thank you.